Mm. And we're live. Welcome to the A. Whoa, I gotta get this right on me. Welcome to the A3K podcast. This is episode 97. We are inching closer and closer to our 100th episode. That's what's that, three episodes until that happens. So we're planning some really cool stuff. So if you're watching this live right now or you're watching this on demand, put in the show notes some cool things you think we should do for the 100th episode. We already have a few ideas. We're not going to announce it right now, but it should be it'll be worth watching.
Cody Bar, bust out the song from Kuso.
So we're going to go down the line and introduce our panel. We have Cody Byer from the other side, as well as some other things that might be coming down the pike that you've seen him in before. If you watched the last episode, you know what that is. We have Colton from the Manga Corner, as well as a few other projects that he'll be more than happy to tell us about in the takeaway segment. We have Jack rejoining us on this podcast as well, on the bonus round and a few other things, writing articles. There's a whole bunch of things you can look forward to seeing. So welcome back, Jack. And we have JD from the Manga Corner, as well as a whole bunch of other things that she's done over the years with Anime 3000. And then, of course, you have me, Sean Russell, founder of Anime 3000, and just one of the many faces that you will see on the A3K podcast. So we're going to go ahead and
Sean Russell.
Hashtag the Sean Russell, A. Russell. So we're going to go ahead and get started with JD this time around. JD, tell us what you've been dotting.
So, actually this week I read Assassination Classroom.
Wow.
Or Ansatsu Kyoshitsu, yeah. It's not my favorite, I should say. I know a lot of people like it. I just think it's too bizarre. Like, I'm just like, it's a little too weird. And actually, I read it because the Manga Corner will be covering the Assassination Classroom manga, which will be released actually in December. So, a little bit of not so much spoilers, but just you get to know more about this popular manga, I guess.
and it will be released in December because it is no longer in my hands. I put it in capable hands, so it will be out when it is supposed to be out this time around.
That would be my co-host, Colton. Right, Colton?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it.
All right, that's it. And Cody, I saw you put out a tweet about Assassination Classroom.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I saw it too.
Do you want to share that? What's your thoughts about Assassination Classroom since we're on the topic?
Over at my old stomping grounds, the Project After community, one of the members of the community, one of my favorite members, because he's funny and he does research for me, goes by the name Proto. Did a little digging, little digging into some of the not with any of those equipment. Doing some digging from who's who in the Assassination Classroom anime adaptation. And let me pull it up because any excitement one may have had might die a nasty death.
No.
Like mine.
No.
Here, let me find.
You're killing my dreams of a prosperous winter season.
Here we go. Okay, Assassination Classroom. The director, Seiji Kishi. Scriptwriter, Makoto Uezu. Now, do those names sound familiar to you? Well, what has Seiji Kishi directed in the past? Angel Beats, Danganronpa, My Bride is a Mermaid. Let's see what scriptwriter Makoto Uezu has worked on. Danganronpa the animation, Is this a zombie? School days. Seikon no Quasar. My bride is a mermaid and a kame ga kill.
No! No!
Well,
It could have done.
I think it really all depends on who you are, because I think you might have just got a lot of people excited about this show now.
No! No!
None of those people are in my audience bracket.
Even working on Danganronpa could not redeem them from doing My Bride is a Mermaid and Seikon no Quasar.
Well,
Or
Danganronpa
School Days.
apparently had a pretty lousy anime adaptation, from what I know from the people that have played the games.
It's okay.
It's like supposedly really rushed, and
It
Yeah.
is. It's 12 episodes. It could have gone for a little longer, but, you know, contracts and the sort.
although I don't know if it can be as rushed as Inuyasha the Final Act, but
Very true.
this show is on speed.
And speaking of being on speed, we're gonna jump around and go to Cody. What have you been dotting?
Well, let me tell you what I've been doing. I haven't been able to watch too much anime lately because I am a busy bee. I was, as you may know, was on a birthday trip with my lady, and then after that, I have been preparing Cloud Scratcher for the upcoming print book of the first 4 chapters. I'm remastering all the pages, making them very pretty because I can't look at them. So I'm taking all the old pages and I'm making them nice and fancy looking. I'm having to redraw some things. And speaking of Cloud Scratcher, if anybody's looked at my Twitter lately, particularly a certain tweet that's pinned to the top of my feed, you might find something very nifty. A little you know, look into things that I'm working on. I'm just saying it's a little preview of something that I'm terribly happy about.
What is that Twitter? What is that Twitter?
Twitter, I'm sorry. Twitter.com/Lord Schmecky, and that's Schmecky with an SH, not an SCH, because everyone apparently assumes I'm Jewish.
Well, I am Lord Schmecky.
I had my Schmecky, and that's Schmeckel, people. The Yiddish word is Schmeckel,
Like a bon rakas.
and it means penis. So
Pepsi plug. And it means penis. Pepsi.
Is that a 2-bit thing?
I can't. Oh, and my sandwiches are here. Thank you very much.
You see that? You see that? That's service. That's service right there.
Where can I get a monkey butler as good as that one?
And this is what I've been dotting right now. Because I've been out all night and haven't been able to get any food.
Is that Chick-fil-A?
No. It's just chicken sandwiches from the oven. Chick-fil-A's closed by now. Otherwise,
I can't eat chicken. Me and Sean are in the same group. We don't eat chicken.
Bro!
You ever been to Chipotle? That stuff is legit.
Chipotle.
Oh.
Okay, Chipotle is for white people. I'm gonna say that right now. And then
I'm not white, and I love Chipotle. I eat it like 5 days a week. It's awesome. Well, anyways.
White people
Well,
have
speaking.
lattes.
you use pinto beans, not black beans. Real
And
Mexican food.
Racism in here. I'm just feeling triggered all over the place.
So we're gonna go now to Jack. Jack, what have you been dotting?
I have been dotting the shit out of Persona Q since it came out Tuesday. With gotta get my nerd card in here. Got the limited edition bundle. It's beautiful. I mean, you know, art book with people who don't have noses. It's still great. And other than that, I've been just playing a lot this week. Haven't gotten too much into a lot of anime watching, but speaking of Danganronpa, I started replaying the first game just to see if an article I will eventually write is actually going to have more information on it and more hatred than I initially thought, because I recently played the second one and I hadn't played the first one in a while, so I have to go back and see if I'm just as angry about the first one as I am about the second one.
Okay. All right, and we'll go into a little bit more detail about your Persona Q experience later in the show. I know you have some things to show us, some cool things to show us. So before we get into that, we're gonna go to Colton. Colton, go ahead and let us know what you've been dotting.
Hey, I'm finally on a live show. I finally actually had the time to come on. It's been a while. I haven't gotten the chance to really watch much this week because of the holidays and a bunch of other of my own podcast projects, including Life Lessons, the Gintama Manga Cast, and a Toriko podcast I'm actually a part of, and I can plug those later, obviously. The only thing I've really got to watch recently would be a chunk of Hunter x Hunter, Sean. I'm finally out of Heaven's Arena and right into your canoe, which is pretty awesome so far.
Yeah, I like that.
It's I think I'm about maybe 6 episodes away from finishing. I wanted to try to finish before I got on tonight, but I didn't have the time. And where I left off, a lot of really awesome shit was happening, and I really wish I could watch more, because the ending theme, I think I said on Twitter, I think last night, but the ending theme always gets me pumped up for the next episode. It's probably my favorite ending theme of the show so far. Hunting for Your Dream, great song. But I didn't really have any specific thoughts other than I really like it so far. I can't wait to get to the Chimera Ant arc, because I see people talk about that arc all the time and how gruesome it is, and I can't wait to experience that for myself. I guess one more thing before I'm done. I also jumped into the world of Lupin the Third a couple of weeks ago. I decided to buy I guess Lupin Episode 0 right here, the First Contact.
Oh, that's good. That's
I got a chance to watch it, I think, like a week or two ago. Great intro to Lupin. Really got me wanting to watch more. I think, thankfully, all 3 of the original series are on Hulu, even the supposed really bad Pink Jacket series. I might even watch that, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not only am I in the mood for Hunter x Hunter, I'm in the mood for a lot of Lupin the Third. Lupin the Third's awesome.
I gotta say, I actually really like the anachronistic dub for Series 2. Because, A, I know a lot of the humor would be like 60s Japanese humor, and we all know that just holds up great.
Oh, yeah.
So, it was kind of weird to see someone reference something from like the 2000s in a show that clearly looked like it was made in the 60s or 70s. 70s, I mean. Like, but it was still funny. It still worked. So, I gotta give props to that dub, because it really did, like, kind of up the entertainment value a little bit, because like now I'm getting everything and I'm along for the ride. You don't get those little trip ups. You're like, whoa, that was something that took me out of the experience because I didn't get the joke because it's both old and from another culture.
Man.
Love the animation. Love the animation. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Series 2 looked a lot like the Red Dragon one. Looked a lot more like Monkey Punch's artwork.
All right, and Colton, was that everything, or did you have something else you wanted to say?
I mean, other than that, the only thing I really got to sit down and watch was because I finally decided to try out some Gotham from Fox. Yeah, I'm not particularly JD. I'm not really particularly very into Batman, so that's why I find the series so interesting. Like how I love Spider-Man, but I know next to nothing about Spider-Man. That's why I'm finally reading the comics for Spider-Man, and I thought I'd finally jump into some Batman too. I'm sure a lot of comic book nerds really don't like it, JD, but I personally find it really interesting, and I'd like to see where it goes. About
How
halfway
far
through.
are you into it?
I'm about halfway through. I
Okay.
think I'm right around like episode 5 or 6. I'm getting closer and closer to the mid-season finale that might have already aired or hasn't aired yet. I don't remember. But I
Colton,
like
who said Colton?
it.
I just wanted to say, I think Colton and I can both agree that at the very least, out of everything that makes Gotham Gotham, at the very least, looking at Alfred doesn't make you want to laugh nearly as much as it does during the Dark Knight movies. Because whenever I see the Dark Knight movies, I just imagine his character from Miss Congeniality, Michael Caine, just going, "You've got to glide! You've got to glide!"
Well, most people that have seen The Dark Knight probably didn't also see Miss Congeniality, so most people don't have that issue.
Jeez.
No, it's true. It's true.
Actually, yeah, that's something I really liked about Gotham. Every time I see a moment like that, I tweet it out. I tweet out my feels of every time I see Alfred and young Bruce on screen, because every time they're on screen together and they have their little moments, it's always very touching. I think. That's just me though.
I can tell you right now that I was watching Gotham since the first episode. I'm up to date with Gotham, and I was kind of on the fence about it because I'm watching Flash at the same time, and they definitely have two different feels to them. But the last episode of Gotham is kind of just like flipped the whole script for me. Like, I am a huge fan of the show right now because they're doing exactly what I wanted the series to do in the first place. And I don't know if it's something that was done from intentionally or was done after different focus groups, but I think the direction that they're taking the show is more true to someone who's a huge fan of the Batman comic book series. It's almost like they wanted to focus so much on on Gordon in the beginning of whatever he is, but they wanted to focus on him now. But I think now they're kind of taking the show in a more of a story, B story type of feel, where you're seeing little winks at some of the characters that are going to be villains down the road more now than before. And where they're taking this next season, I don't know if it's the next season or the next half of it, you're probably going to see even more of it. And I don't want to spoil it for you because it's a huge spoiler for you to kind of let you know what the next batch of episodes is going to be doing. Gotham, once you're not watching it, watch it. It's going to be worth it for you to get to the final episode of the season. Anything else before I switch over to me?
No, that's about it.
Yeah, finally, me. Oh, no. It's happening. No, I watched Parasyte. If you're a Parasyte fan, you got a special treat this week because you got 2 episodes, and the episodes weren't. None of them were filler. They were actually real episodes, and both of them were great. It wrapped up a little story from the beginning, and it started a brand new story with the second episode that aired. So I don't know what's your problem. If you haven't been watching it, you're dead to me.
I guess I'm dead, Sean. But goodbye. I'll see you guys later. I'm just kidding, but I really do need to get on. I really do need to get on Parasyte though.
So do I.
The manga is awesome too.
Manga's really good. Yep.
Yeah.
I probably really should get on it because I'm dating a huge Parasyte fan, and if I don't get on it soon, I'm going to not hear the end of it.
I think from based on your taste, I don't think you would find any faults with Parasyte, Cody. I think you'd really enjoy the series.
Well, at the risk of using this phrase because of how this phrase is usually used, that's what she said.
That's our Cody.
All right.
Yeah.
And as far as everything else, I haven't been that's pretty much it. I mean, I watched a little. I'm catching up on Terraform Mars. I haven't really branched off into any new shows. I guess I'm kind of waiting to see what this new season holds. I tried a few shows about 2 weeks ago, but none of them caught my interest. And so I'm hoping that Assassination Classroom, although what Cody said, I'm still hoping that it holds out hope. And all these other shows,
I hope it's good.
Me too. Although I've read maybe 3 chapters of the manga, I'm not gonna say like I'm head over heels for it, but I like the premise of the show. I think that it could be interesting, although it has a feel to me that it could be like a one-hit, one-note, whatever. I'm mixing up expressions again, where it's just going to be the same thing because you know nothing's going to happen until that deadline that he set for himself. So it's not like, oh, halfway through, big twist, or maybe there is. I don't think so, though.
I gotta get on the manga because everybody's hyping it, and it sounds interesting. So and by next time, I'll have read some of the manga.
So I'm looking forward to the winter season, but I mean, as far as on the note of Gotham, I will talk about one movie that I watched, Fright Night. If you haven't seen this movie, it's basically a vampire movie, but it's done in an interesting sort of way. It's very entertaining. It's hugely hyped, and I can't believe I haven't watched it up until this point. If you're a Doctor Who fan, David Tennant's in it, but he's not obviously not anywhere close to the character of Doctor Who. He's cursing. He's pretty much Chris Angel if he was a vampire hunter.
David Tennant, Doctor Who is that?
No, I'm joking. No, but yeah, definitely check it out. You can't get it on Netflix. You can't get it anywhere. The only place I was able to find it to rent, and I'm not buying it. I don't rewatch things unless it's Indiana Jones. Back to the Future. I rented it from iTunes, so you can get it off of iTunes and
iTunes.
But
The Nirvana of MOVs.
Say that again.
iTunes is just the Nirvana of movies. I accidentally said MOVs, and so repeating it now, I feel better saying MOVs because they're MP4s, M4Vs actually.
So little tech talk on what you're actually downloading when you go to iTunes, and it's not a virus.
And yeah, I thought you were talking about silly Japanese rap rock band MOVE.
Oh.
So we're gonna go to the discussion now. I'm just joking. No, we are going to the discussion, and the first topic that we're going to talk about, and it seems like every few weeks we have somebody getting fired or somebody going to jail for doing something in Japan.
Yep.
And this week we have no short of information and articles about that. This week, someone, and I'm going to switch my screen. This is the time of the show. Oh, by the way, if you are following us on YouTube Live, you want to send out a message or talk to us, put your messages in there. We'll be checking it periodically and then letting people know what you're saying. So that's one way you can interact with us. Or you can tweet us at Anime3000, hashtag A3K. But the article I'm going to pull up right now is about, this is actually an animator for Haikyuu, the volleyball anime. One of the animators for the series, was fired for tweeting erotic art. And
But
as you
isn't
can
that
see,
like half of the Japanese comics industry is erotic art? I mean, a lot of animators and comic artists started making porn before they made. Or oh no, did he do erotic art of the show he's working on? Because that would be
yes.
stupid. Okay,
Yes,
no,
he did.
he deserved to get fired.
That's what it was?
Yes, that's Haikyuu right there. That's the main character with the orange hair, and that's the guy who is like his arch rival. So,
of course.
Whoa!
So yeah, that. So I think that. Do you guys think he should have been fired? What are your impressions?
Yeah, you don't do that. Not on a show you're working on. When you're working on something, you have to be professional about it. You can't go around. That's what drives me nuts because there were people in our animation industry that do that. They don't get fired. They maybe should. Like fucking the lead fucking animator for Adventure Time and goes and makes the fucking pictures where the whole Fiona and Cake started from her weird gender swap fan art where she's got girl versions of Adventure Time main characters talking about having periods and then weird pseudo porn, and you can tell that the girl Finn is an obvious insert of her, and it's just there's a lot of reasons I don't like that show, and she's just helping.
There's actually a comic page that I saw of it. It's kind of infamous where they basically reference tentacle porn of like one of the characters, I don't know their names, but the vampire character, I guess, she turns into a tentacle monster because she's like, this is like my power. And they're like, oh my gosh, why would that be necessary? And it's another girl, of course, and they're like, why wouldn't that be necessary? And it's like,
I don't know, tentacle porn. I think that was just supposed to be lol, so funny, look how wacky. I'm not hipster enough to like Adventure Time, so.
It's supposed to be a joke, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. It's a lot like Adventure Time. It is a joke, I guess. It's not funny, but I can see that it's there.
They're trying to be funny.
Yeah, so I mean that happens here, but not as much. And they don't go tweeting it. Like if you look on the Twitter of this chick, you're not gonna find the weird Adventure Time porn. Now on her Tumblr, yeah.
Tumblr is that's cool of porn.
I hear the Children of the Corn are back.
Children of the Corn. Is that Malachi? Is that Isaac?
I hate these stupid kids.
Scream like children.
Yeah.
I hate these stupid kids. Yeah.
Well, speaking of stupid kids, guess what is selling hotcakes right now across the world? It starts with a P and ends with an N, and I'm pretty sure that someone in this group is playing it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Pokemon.
Did not see that coming.
How many of you guys are still playing Pokemon right now?
I'm not playing this iteration.
Pokemon.
I did in college, actually, but not anymore.
I haven't played Pokemon since I was like 8 years old, so.
See, that's why you're wrong, because it's gotten so much better. Every new Pokemon game adds something, and it's always great. And I love this series.
I play Pokemon Stadium and then the weird bootlegs because I like to hate myself.
All right, well then I'm gonna have to be the resident Pokemaniac around here and having to school everybody on what's up because these new Pokemon games.
Kanto and Johto and Poblano, Cody.
I've been to Johto, I've been to Kanto, I've been to Hoenn, I've been to the one that's New York. I've been to. Well, I haven't played X and Y because I was holding off because I'm gonna admit it, I'm a dirty cheater. Because I have a life, so I'd like to have Pokemon with the IVs and stuff that I want, but I don't want to have to catch 20 of them and look at their stats and do the calculations. So I just pull up like Pokemon generators. Like, okay, here's a Pokemon I want, and here's the stats I want, and here's the ability that I want, and here's the moveset that I want. Okay, make it and put it in my game.
That's what's frustrating.
They haven't been able to hack the 3DS yet. And
that's what's really frustrating about the new releases of Pokemon, especially Pokemon Y, because I still go to college. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to college, and half of the people that are gamers that I can talk to don't talk to me because they're just glued to their 3DS screens and going, no, I'm trading Pokemon with myself, I'm breeding, I'm naming 6 different Pokemon the same thing, and then I'm pitting them in a battle room. It's like, what the hell? I don't understand.
You play that shit like recreationally. You sit back, you chill out, and you play Pokemon. You don't get super intense about it. I mean, shit.
Yeah, these guys scare me.
Yeah, I'm good enough to kick some ass, and I still don't have to. Granted, again, like I said, I just generate the Pokemon I want. I don't make them stronger than they have to be. I don't cheat, but I take a shortcut because I have a life. And since they've been slow to get the 3DS hacked, I held off on XY. Also, a lot of the new Pokemon X and Y look cool, but man, they sucked. I was looking at the stats. I was like, Jesus Christ, I might as well just keep the ones I have now. Like, the only really good one is the Sword, which is awesome.
The Sword one looks really cool, actually, from what I've seen. Like, that one is actually kind of interesting.
I love that one. I fucking love that one. It's a sword. It's a ghost sword that wields itself. In its final evolution, it gets a shield.
I think the problem I have is Pokemon have stopped being gotta catch 'em all, which is interesting because you want to learn about them all and learn what they're like and learn about them in the environment too. Gotta mega evolve them all.
Well, it's become less gotta catch 'em all because there's so many. So now it's like now get the ones you want and make them so strong that fuck all your friends. Like now you can buff all their stats and get the perfect EVs and IVs to get maximum stats.
Very well. Fuck
And
you
then you give
over.
them the right item with the right strategy, and then you have them fight your friends, and you murder your friends. Oh, you're not murdering your friends hard enough? Here's Mega Evolutions. Turn your favorite Pokemon into engines of destruction. Now turn your friends to ash.
Oh my goodness, you guys are hanging with Pokegasm over here.
I know, it's almost like a cult or something. Like I used to walk around my campus with like a Game Boy and play Pokemon and just enjoy it because it's fun, you know. I don't even like RPGs, and it's just like you guys are all satanic about it, like.
Yes, it is. It's like it's like competitions with game. You know, regular people. Hey, you want to play fucking football and shit, and then nerds like, you want fucking Pokemon battle? I'll kick your ass.
That's how we settle fights in the streets.
And then get better. I mean, look at this guy. This guy's a newer guy. This is one of the greatest things ever made. It's a king ghost jellyfish that murders people, devours their souls, and makes castles out of their sunken ships. It's the greatest thing ever made.
I can't wait to see the anime episode centered around that son of a bitch.
I love him. I love him to death.
Yeah. Well, Cody, I could do you one even better. This guy here can not only eat 10 cherries at once, but he can also bite your head. See? Walk.
When have you become the grade school kids who are like, my thing can like...
You got one too, but joke's on you, mine's bigger. And doesn't talk. Mine doesn't talk. Fuck you, Cody.
What? Wait, nobody... Oh, man, where's mine at?
I have a Pokemon. I'm poor.
I made this one. It's my wife. It's Ignis from Blaze Blue. It's terrifying.
My wife?
Ignis.
No. I'll save the rest of my stuffed animals for another episode. I'll make it a feature on the podcast.
We're sharing our stuffed animals. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that Yokai Watch is ever going to catch on as much as Pokemon?
No.
Over here in the States?
Yokai are fucking badass, so I kind of hope. Because if this is a game that hasn't been released in North America yet, just from the title alone, I'm going to be really mad.
I think it'll have some kind of fandom, but I don't think it'll be the juggernaut the Pokemon is ever.
Yeah,
over here, because it's supposedly supposed to be sliced bread in Japan right now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it will have some kind of fan base over here, and it will have a market over here. It'll make some kind of money, obviously.
It'll be Digimon 2.
Exactly.
Yes, it's so famous here, like completely famous.
But Digimon was never as big as Yokai Watch was in Japan.
No,
not here in America.
I know, but I'm saying, I mean, it's never been, even when he brought it over here, it never reached the amount of success that it reached, that Yokai Watch currently has in Japan. And looking at the way we treat Dragon Ball Z, it's like we're still saying it's the biggest thing ever, and it hasn't been the biggest thing in Japan since.
There's plenty of big things in Japan that just don't catch on here, like Shin-Chan.
Yeah.
How many video game / cartoon franchises haven't caught on? That's as big as Yokai Watch is right now.
They've tried to bring stuff over here. Yu-Gi-Oh! Too, but that's come and gone.
Yeah.
That's still kind of big here, though.
It will remain on its throne. Nintendo's very good at this.
Yeah.
It ain't going anywhere. There's a reason it sold millions of copies. They know exactly what they're doing. Say what you will about anything else Nintendo does, when it comes to making games, there is nobody better than those guys. They know shit that people won't even figure out like 20 years from now, and then by the time they figure it out, Nintendo will learn something new.
And
is that Shigeru Miyamoto made The Legend of Zelda looking at the bottoms of his drawers.
Yeah.
All right, so I think, speaking of looking at the bottom of our drawers, Jack, you are going to show us some cool things about Persona Q.
Oh, yeah. if you guys wasted your money buying Pokemon, buying Super Smash Brothers, what's wrong with you? Because this was probably the best thing right now for the 3DS, because, I don't know. So I'm going to take the camera hostage here and move it to forward here, so you can see what I got in my collector box. So we got some nice things. We got a case here. This was for the 3DS XL, which is sad because I'm too poor and I only have the original. It came with some nice glossy Persona type carrot cards, yeah, because I'm stupid. It also came with a nice art book, although, you know, it's pretty scant. It's only like 30-something pages, but you get a nice look at all of the characters in the original art style. Came with the game, of course, and it came with a nice special 4-track mix CD. There's still some that are actually available online right now, even though this was supposedly limited, but then again, you can get anything limited. I got Calamity Trigger limited when I rebought PlayStation 3 again, so, you know, these things are always going to be available for you, and even if you don't want to splurge like $30 extra for this, because it's $80, at least buy the game, because the game is pretty sweet for Persona fans, and even if you're kind of a newcomer, they do make a point of explaining at least a little bit of some of the information. They're pretty easy on the tutorial level, kind of easing you in, and it plays a lot because this is the 3DS and it's not, you're not dealing with a PSP here. It plays more like the 3DS series Etrian Odyssey, which I was a little pissed off at first. It's more of a first-person dungeon crawler, but you get used to it, and once you decide that you don't give a fuck about completing that stupid map on the touchscreen, you can really just get into just destroying the monsters and leveling them with your incredible personas by shooting yourself in the face or by just lifting up a card, because Persona 4 was less insane. I recommend it for Persona fans, and I definitely recommend it for anybody who likes dungeon crawlers. And graphics-wise, the art is interesting. They don't have noses, but they're cartoony. And I thought that 3D models were going to look horrible, like a certain other dungeon crawler for the Vita called Mine Zero, but they actually look really nice. They did a good job with the gradients, and the shading is nice, and the characters all act like you would expect. The only other problem is you can't get your characters on me because they don't have enough spaces, and I'm fucking mad. But other than that, it's really nice.
All right.
Never know what
Cool, cool. And so I guess people should go out there and get it, huh?
People should totally get it, but maybe not immediately because it is like $50 for download on the Nintendo store right now because games keep getting more and more expensive. Ask it first for Christmas. Ask Santa to get it for you. You damn otaku.
All right. And I just want to give...
Santa, can I have the greatest dungeon program?
Before I move on, I want to give a quick shout out to all the people that are currently in the chat on our YouTube page. Definitely, that's a cool thing. I didn't even see that chat until right this second. So yeah, definitely thank you guys for you know, posting up in there. And those of you guys that are watching this live, thank you for watching it live as well. We appreciate that. So if you have any questions or anything, now that I see that it's there, I will be looking at that, and we'll answer you live if and when we see it. So the next thing is something that I've always kind of wanted to get into, and it's always been a big topic of conversation, especially with people who watch anime. And we actually had a conversation about it not too long ago. And those are Tokusatsu shows, these, you know, Super Sentai type of shows. And there's and I guess part of it is that I haven't really known where to see it, and I don't really feel like going and downloading it from, you know, whichever site. But there is a bit of news that came out recently about a series that looks interesting to me. And of course, I'm going to share out my screen so you can see it. Do any of you watch those types of shows? Please say one of you at least.
I've dabbled in a little bit of the tokusatsu kind of shows, but I've only ever really watched. I mean, I've mostly watched a lot of like Kamen Rider series. I'm actually in the middle of trying out a little bit of Super Sentai, but I mean, let's just say Super Sentai has its audience. I mean, I don't know, when it comes to, for me personally, when it comes to Super Sentai, that particular franchise, I guess it's hard for me to sit down and want to watch more than one episode, because with most Sentai shows, most shows from what I've seen are very formulaic. Um, that's just what I gather. I haven't even finished the first one I'm on, so I could be wrong, but um, Super Sentai is hard for me to want a marathon. Super Sentai is more for when I'm bored and I want to watch something that I can kind of turn my brain off to, just sit down and watch something to laugh at. Kamen Rider, in comparison, the Kamen Rider tries to have more of a story or a plot, I guess, compared to the Super Sentai franchise. Kamen Rider, I think, is a lot more interesting. That's for sure. And I feel that people who haven't gotten into Tokusatsu, but they want to and they don't know where to start. The way I got into it was a friend of mine back in high school practically begged me to give a chance Kamen Rider Den-O, which is basically about this kid who's constantly bullied, and he's a little shrimpy little guy, and he's weak and all that stuff. He's basically the underdog of the show, and he basically somehow gets into these shenanigans that end up having him become the I guess a passenger aboard this train that rides around different dimensions, fighting these monsters known as the Imagine, who like to infiltrate people's dreams and memories, I guess, and basically go back in time to destroy their memories and feed off of those. I'm very much paraphrasing because I haven't watched the show, I think, since like 2010. I still need to sit down and rewatch it, but Den-O is very I guess, for lack of a better word, it's very anime, in my opinion, in the way it's presented and in the way that the characters act and all that. So I'd say if you want to get into Tokusatsu, I'd say sit down and watch a couple of episodes of Kamen Rider Den-O. And if you don't like it by probably about the 5th or 10th episode, it's probably not for you. Now, I guess in terms of Garo, let's get on with the news piece here. What's the news piece for Garo, actually, before I go on?
Well, Garo, they are saying that Garo is a little less like some of the series that you might have mentioned, like less like Kamen Rider, more. I think just looking at it, kind of has more of like a green arrow, an arrow type
Darker.
yeah, it has that darker type feel to it.
Yeah.
Apparently, it is hugely successful. So it's getting 3 movies and a show and an anime and a musical.
Really?
So
Damn.
you know that hype kind of makes me want to check it out and see what it's about. Because if it is sort of like Flash and has that sort of anime-ish feel, it could be something that I could probably see myself getting into. And it's also, especially when I think it could be something that could fill in the gaps between me wanting to see different, like looking for a good anime. Who's to say I have to always watch anime? You know, if I want something that has that sort of feel, I can maybe say plug that in there, just to kind of get my fix on, you know, Japanese pop culture and all that good stuff. So I mean, I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it, because we rarely talk about it, but it is a huge staple in you know, a lot of anime fans, you know, list of things they're doing.
Yeah.
I would still say about Super Sentai. Sorry.
Say that again?
I was just going to say, like, the only thing I have to say about Super Sentai shows is that I kind of wish that the BlazBlue anime had more of a following, because then they could have a spin-off with just saying Shishigami, because that would be beautiful.
Yeah.
The anime wouldn't need a following. The games would have enough of a following, since the anime was, they didn't give a shit.
And what series is this?
BlazBlue.
Oh, BlazBlue. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're going to segue from that and talk about a topic that I know that we're all going to really, really engage in, and that topic, of course, is a list that came out on Crunchyroll. Japanese otaku pick anime's greatest same-sex duos. And,
Interesting.
yeah. Oh, predictable.
With my dolls.
So basically, to explain what this is, and we had a conversation about this before the podcast started. We had a conversation about this before the podcast started, and basically, it's not necessarily they're in relationships, in a romantic relationship, but it's just sort of like, as a picture right there, kind of details two friends that happen to be the same sex. So as you can see, number 30, Goku and Vegeta, and let's go up to the top 10. Now, before.
Why is Tiger and Bunny not high up on the list?
Exactly.
Fuck
Gintama. Here we go.
Gintama? Where?
Number 12. Number 12.
I guess I
Well,
agree with that.
what
Sure.
is this nonsense? Oh, Jesus.
Alright,
Of course, Haikyuu.
You know Haikyuu's on here.
Who put Madoka Magica?
Blasphemous.
Who put Madoka Magica over Tiger and Bunny? Who did this?
Naruto.
Who did this?
Alright, let's see who they have. Okay. Oh, by the way, we are releasing the audio for these episodes on our iTunes, so I guess I should probably be reading out some of these.
Yeah.
I'm totally just scrolling through and like, yeah, that's a one. That's another one.
You can follow along. Clicks on the link. Jeez.
Yeah, if you want to see this and watch the video, you can go to our YouTube page at youtube.com/A3KTV and actually watch this episode. But let's go to the top 10 at least. Number 10, we have Makoto Kikuchi JD.
Makoto Kikuchi and Yukiko Hagiwara, from Idol Master.
And that's number 10.
Yep, never watched it.
Yeah. Number 9 is Shizuo Heiwajima and Izaya Orihara from Durarara.
Who drew that? I'm sorry. I feel like I just turned into Cody from this list, but who drew that? Oh my God.
That's a thing.
That's not a thing. That's not okay. That is a badass anime, and you're telling me you're gonna put these guys in the pink dress? No. You say no.
So JD, what's next on the list?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm upset.
Okay, next, number 8, Haruka Nase and Makoto Tachibana from Free.
Of course.
Number 7, of course, is Kuroko Tetsuya and Taiga Kagami from Kuroko's Basketball. That's such a cute picture. Oh. Number 6 is Girl, Iori Manase and Yayoi Takatsuki from Idolmaster. Again, it makes the list.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah. Number 5, Mikoto Misaki and Kuroko Shirai from A Certain Series. And that's the series name, A Certain Series.
That's weird, but okay.
And then number 4, Gintama! Okay, hearts.
Yeah.
Gintoki Sakata and Toshiro Hajikata from Gintama, of course.
Yeah, makes more sense than Hijikata and Okita, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then number 3, Tobio Kageyama and Hinata Shoyo from Haikyuu. And number 2, Idolmaster takes it again with Haruka and Chihaya.
Again, with all this
Number 1
stuff.
is, are you serious? Kazunari Takao and Shintaro Midorima from Kuroko's Basketball, of course.
So Cody, what do you think about the picks?
Dumb.
I think that's Cody's shortest opinion
Fuck
ever.
this! Fuck
Seems
this!
like Jack.
I'm sorry. I've been working
God.
Black Friday weekend. I think that somehow the shock of it has finally turned me into, like, Cody too. I'm so sorry.
I'm like a
But
virus.
fuck this.
Oh
Listen
jeez.
to me long enough, they turn in.
I don't
we-
know. I don't know if you're upset because of the picks or upset that this list exists.
I am upset about a lot of things. I'm not really aware of everything that I just saw, but this isn't real, this isn't true, and this needs to stop. And people need to stop drawing the most badass characters in fucking dresses.
Well, you
Painters.
see, there's
Damn.
this epidemic of a thing called dumb teenage girls. And when dumb teenage girls find anime, they take a steaming dump over everything they touch. They're a lot like monkeys that way.
Whoa.
Unfortunately.
The views expressed by Cody Barr do not reflect the views of Anime 3000's, its affiliates, or partners.
Now I can go. See, what happens is like, oh my god, pretty boys! Let's put them in dresses so that they're less threatening, and let's make them hook up. Because again, I like to fetishize gayness because heterosexual manly men scare me because I'm kind of in that developmental stage right now.
Oh my god.
I can make everything work for me. I need more yowie boys. Where's my yowie paddles? Hi
Really?
there.
Really, yeah. Apparently, you know, this is a thing. Can I? My life.
That was a dumb list. What was the point? You know what the point of it was? It was not yaoi fans. It was the same sex or like Yuri fans for the fucking mega dorks that can't just say I like lesbians. Like you gotta.
Well, Cody, we gotta pander. I mean, reach out to the to our female audience. You know, it's necessary.
Reach out, man.
Yes, reach out.
Well,
And speaking of reaching out to our female audience,
thank you.
I feel like I should just have Dog Ride do the rest of this podcast. I feel like I could just quit.
And the
Oh my
final bit that we're going to talk about, because I thought this wasn't a thing anymore, but apparently it is.
yeah, me too.
Hetalia has something that's new, and it is the 6th anime series, and it's going to be called Hetalia: The World Twinkle.
Because it wasn't gay enough. Stay tuned for Hetalia Season 7, Fabulicious Politics.
Oh my god.
So,
I'm certainly looking forward to the dub of this, I guess.
Yeah. At
It's the
least
only-
Funimation will make it funny. They can't really do anything about any further Holocaust denial, but you know.
Funimation can only do so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sound like a total hypocrite because you know there's a lot of games in the show. I recently picked up a scene that was really fucking funny. Like it's like the quickest way to get some dumb entertainment for like $15 on iTunes.
Well, Funimation dub is hysterical because the people at Funimation saw this and was like, you know what this needs? Actual jokes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The voice talent is the best at doing horrible accents in an entertaining way. It's wonderful. It's
Fucking
wonderful.
love Japan's voice in the dub.
Yep.
Stereotypical Asian voice in the world. I love it.
Let me mortify you with carbohydrates.
Like this. I love it. You can practically see the voice actor doing this with his face.
Exactly.
I love it. Can't get enough of it.
all right.
But again, you know, Funimation can only do so much. So you know, I hope we don't get any more uncomfortable moments in this season because there was that Holocaust thing in the one episode of Hetalia.
All right. So what we're going to do now is, because we're getting close to that time, the arbitrary time that we set up for this podcast to end, so we are going to do the takeaway, and we're going to go ahead and get started with Colton.
All right. Well, like I mentioned earlier, I haven't gotten the chance. Part of the reason I haven't gotten the chance to really watch a lot of stuff would be because I've been involved in a few podcasting things. I'm I can't talk. Along with keeping up my normal podcast, Life Lessons, the Gintama Manga Cast, where me and a couple of friends of mine cover the Gintama manga as per the Viz Media release. You could find that at www.gintalifelessons.wordpress.com. And I am also helping a friend of mine on Twitter engage in a Toriko podcast, and you can also find that on at heavenlykingspodcast.wordpress.com. Everybody go listen to that. It's really fun to do, and Toriko, especially if you love shonen, is a great series. Very, very underrated. But do we want to mention anything we're doing for the Manga Corner, JD, or do we want to keep that under wraps until the time comes?
Just keep it under wraps for now.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll keep it a surprise, but hopefully people can look forward to what we're going to be doing on the Manga Corner. The only thing I'll say is that we'll try to cover more relevant series, I guess, is all I can say for now. Wink.
All right, so since you were on the topic of the Manga Corner, JD?
Yeah, so we do have a new Manga Corner coming out soon, and then we also have this, the new thing is that I do want to start doing motion comics, so for the Assassination Classroom one, I know I had promised on this past one, but I couldn't figure out my software. So this Assassination Classroom one will have a motion comic. So, wow, skipping articles. Wow. So yeah, and yeah, can I plug any other stuff?
You can plug whatever you want, JD.
Yay. Okay, so I have a blog called jadesescape.com, and I will be giving away some prizes on there in December. Prizes, maybe one big prize. For example, I have this big guy here, and these are really cheap in Japan. Like, you might think this costs, like, maybe in the States, maybe what, $10, $20? It's only like $3 here, so I'm gonna be giving away some. Huh?
I'm sorry. What the hell even is that? I don't recognize that.
This is from a manga called Worst, and it's a very popular manga here in Japan.
Yeah.
And it was published in the States, but I think they didn't continue the whole series. But I really like this series, so I picked up this little guy here. So he's really cool.
I need to read that.
It costs $3, but $30 to ship.
It's like a bootleg Professor Layton. I could not tell what that was. I'm gonna check out Worst now.
I couldn't tell what that was.
Awesome. I love Worst. Yeah, it's one of the Yankee manga that they call it, or delinquent manga.
I love those kind of series so much.
Yeah. Like Cromartie. I like that.
That was good too.
I love Cromartie.
Which doubt are you talking about?
I think that's what it's called.
So my takeaway is, please go to jadesescape.com if you're looking for not just stuff about manga and anime, but also if you're looking for prizes. And I also have a anime club support website called animeascendant.com. So if you are looking for anything that has to do with clubs, how to get sponsorships, how to spend no or less money on things, and anything really, starting an anime club, you can go on that website. It has a lot of information, lots of resources, as well as you can contact me if you need advice, free advice. So.
All right. And Jack?
Clean off this mess because I actually knocked all of that Persona Q stuff over in my rage. Other than that, I'm going to be writing some articles. I'm working on one right now that's pretty interesting, but I'll keep it under wraps for Anime 3000. Also working on one, like I said, kind of related to Danganronpa, the games. Other than that, you can find me tweeting stuff relevant to Anime 3000 or to my own creations, which I'm hoping of being able to plug something new coming soon. I'm actually going to try and work for a Christmas release, because who cares about Christmas when there's creepy Lovecraftian shit that you can do instead. I might be posting, if I can muster up the energy to go on there, to post on Tumblr. So you can follow me on Twitter at JackDTylerD. And if you want to brave Tumblr, or if you're regular on Tumblr anyway, go ahead and try and cheer me up out of my existential crisis that I face every time I log in there by looking up Mechanical Symphonies. Mechanical Symphonies, all one word. I had a cosplay blog, but nobody cared. It was for Relius Clover. Nobody likes me. Please love me.
All right. And Cody?
Well, aside from the fact that everyone should read Cloud Scratcher because it's the best damn webcomic on the internet, it is, of course, that time again, folks. It's time to educate you people a little bit more with Cody Byers' album of the week. And let me screen share, so I guess I'll just talk about it. This week's album is Wish Upon a Black Star from Cell Dweller. Now, you may not have heard of Cell Dweller, but you have heard Cell Dweller. His debut album, which was self-titled, has the distinction of being one of the few albums where every single track on the album was licensed for trailers, video games, movie soundtracks, you name it. Something used some song from that album. Well, this is his follow-up, and probably one of the best albums I've ever heard. Wish Upon a Black Star is basically a hodgepodge of just about every modern let's say white boy music style. You've got various types of electronica, new metal, but and you say new metal? What? No, stay away. But wait. While his singing style is very new metal, unlike typical new metal, which is pretty much angry white kids, Clayton, who is basically Cell Dweller, tends to go in more of a direction of, well, writing good lyrics and making good music. Wish Upon a Black Star is a concept album, which is a sci-fi story of three mysterious deities that come to Earth riding a celestial body called the Black Star that come to Earth offering to grant wishes, but those wishes are a monkey paw type of wish, and basically they go from planet to planet granting wishes, and the wishes they grant eventually end up destroying the people they grant wishes for. The story of the album mainly takes place on a couple of the songs, mainly the first two, and jumps around in the other songs, with most of the songs setting the tone of the world of the album, this sort of shithole where everybody wants what they don't have, but it's sort of a be careful what you wish for, because what you might want may end up being not what you want, which is definitely, like, Best It's Gonna Get is a great example of that. Several songs tie into each other, while every song sounds vastly different. This is some of the most... Clayton, as Cell Dweller, is one of, hands down, the best composers in music today. Whether or not you're into things like nu metal or dubstep, Clayton will take those musics that you don't like and make you like them, because he is that good. Track 2, Unshakable, which is the first song of the album, because track 1 is an intro. If you don't like dubstep, Clayton will stop you and say, wait a minute now, here's what dubstep sounds like with an actual beat, in case you're not familiar with European dubstep. Each song, like I said, sounds vastly different from each other. The first two, Unshakable and Black Star, not only set the tone of the album, but are vastly different and fucking fantastic. Track Black Star is probably one of the best songs in the album. Against the Tide, fantastic closer. This is just all like a well-rounded set of songs that is just going to blow you out of the water. If you have some time, if you have a few hours to kill, definitely look this album up. Wish Upon a Black Star from Cell Dweller. It'll change your damn life. And that's the album of the week.
And speaking of changing your damn life, thank you so much for checking out the Anime 3000 podcast, also known by the cool kids as the A3K podcast. And I want to give I never do this, but I want to give a big shout out to the sixth panelist that you guys never see. A big shout out to Johnny, who's always behind the scenes, running the Twitter and getting things going, sending out the tweets. So a big shout out to Johnny for doing those things. He never gets the credit that he deserves. So I just wanted to say that. And I want to thank everybody here on the panel for joining us for another week of the A3K podcast. Like we said earlier, we are going to be coming up on our 100th episode, if we 3 episodes from now. So you guys can look forward to some cool things. So if you are watching this, or you're listening to this, leave in the notes in the comments on your YouTube page or wherever. Let us know what we should do for our 100th episode. We have some cool ideas, but we want to hear what you have to say. So I guess until next week, there's going to be a lot of things that are going on. We'll hold off on talking about it until then. So thank you, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Happy Black Friday, motherfuckers.